The life of a debutante in London did not suit Ursula at all, and she would escape to wilder regions of Britain as often as she could.
She'd drive up to Scotland. The Bowers were a Scottish family. So she'd take herself off on holidays and go walking among the archaeological sites. Archaeology was her passion and her great interest.
Ursula loved her driving holidays to Scotland among the archaeological sites, and it was on one such visit to Skye in 1937 that she met Alexa MacDonald. They became firm friends, and after her return to London, she received a life-changing invitation to join Alexa on the adventure she longed for, a trip to Kohima, capital of Nagaland.
And we started out into thick jungle, really thick, low country jungle. Huge walls of great straight trees on either side, all straining up for the daylight, and creepers and things tangled in between. I was fascinated. I'd never seen the like of it. And then suddenly the road began to climb, and it was just zigzag, zigzag, zigzags the whole way, right up and up and up. And there were streams and cliffs down to the right of us. The road swept out to the edge and swept up the next bit, and streams tumbling down, great cliffs, real mountain scenery, but jungle scenery. And we went on and on. Then we came clear of the low-ground forest, the thick forest, the real jungle. And we came up into much more open country, but still mountains, still climbing. And we'd done, I suppose, about 40-odd miles. We must have been about the 44th mile, when we came around a corner, and walking down the road towards us were 4 men. And I took one look at them. Something hit me. And I said, "Lexie, for goodness sake, who are those?" And she looked very surprised. She said, "Nagas." And I thought, Nagas? Just about, of course. And I could not think. It went clean out of my mind. What did I know about Nagas? Where had I seen Nagas? And I don't know what it was. It was real déjà vu. But it just disappeared as soon as it had hit me. And they were Angamis, all in full fig, wearing these short black kilts with bands of cowrie shells and bare torsos with great strings of beads. Just one look and they were gone. And I was left with my head fairly going round, wondering what on earth had happened to me. I knew Nagas. I was certain I knew Nagas. Nagas were Nagas. I just didn't know where I was. And then we came out at the top into Kohima, where we had breakfast, and I looked out over that country, and once again the whole thing seemed familiar. It belonged. But how, I just do not know.
She had possibly heard the name Naga, and as she got closer, people probably said, "You will meet the Nagas." But she didn't have any picture of them, which is what makes the real excitement of her account of encountering them. Because when she met them, she should have been entirely surprised and shocked by them, and she was on one level. The other, as she famously describes, she'd felt she'd known them all her life. Now, those of us who believe we've been reincarnated several times think that, of course, she had been a Naga princess sometime earlier. The double irony of the whole situation was that she felt she'd been with the Nagas before, and she recognized them. She felt entirely relaxed and at home. Meanwhile, the Nagas who met her felt the same thing about her, because there had been a famous lady called Gaidelu, who was a prophetess, a millenarian cult in that part of Nagaland, which was causing trouble to the British by asking for some form of independence. So the British had shoved Gaidelu away in prison, probably in Calcutta or somewhere. But before she went, she sensibly said, "Well, they'll lock me up, but someone else will come who is really me, in disguise, heavy disguise." So when this upper middle class young lady turned up and said, "Ah, I've known you all my lives." They said, "Ah, you must be Gaidaliu." So she actually became a millenarian cult figure to the Nagas. I mean, she didn't lead a rising against the British or anything, but they felt she was someone special, and she felt they were something special. So it was complete accident, and yet the destiny was told in the stars.